Hi, I'm Jane. I'm Mahoney Gypsy, and I just wanted to give you my take on how I put my last layer of epoxy on my tumblers. Everybody does it different, or they have their own little take on it. This is just how I do it, and hopefully it helps you. I make sure I get the top, and that way I got everything covered, and then I just kind of work my way slowly down the tumbler and make sure I get all of it covered, and that way all the surfaces are wet. If my glove kind of skips, then I know it's not wet. It needs epoxy. So I just kind of drizzle, make sure I get all of it covered, and then as it's complete, then I work my way down to the butt, make sure the butt is covered, and then I work my way around the edge, go make sure it's all covered, the edge is covered completely around the butt, and then I work my way back up. And as you're doing this, that also helps rub out some of the bubbles. Then what's left in my cup, I drizzle onto the tumbler, and I try and get it as even as I can, you know, throughout the tumbler all the way around. Then I get all of the epoxy out. I hate wasting epoxy. And then I take my finger, and I use my finger, my index finger. Some people use their whole hand. I just use my index finger. You do it how you want to. I'm just more comfortable with that. I feel like I have more control. But I take my finger and I rub it from the bottom, and I go all the way up to the top. And that way I don't get any inside the tumbler. I very seldom have any epoxy that drips down into the tumbler this way. Once in a blue moon I get one, but and this also helps me have it even and level. Then I take my glove off, and then depending on which epoxy it is, some epoxies work better for me if I use the heat gun, and some work better with the torch. This one that I'm working with, it works better with the heat gun. So I heat it up with the heat gun to help level it out and everything, and it also helps pop some of the bubbles. But in order to get the last part of the bubbles, I take a small bottle that I have rubbing alcohol in it, 91%, and I slightly spray like one round of rubbing alcohol on it, and that helps pop any extra bubbles. And I mean, it works amazingly, and that way you don't want to leave your torch or your heat gun in one spot for very long, because you don't want to burn your epoxy. But anyway, this is my take on it. As you can see, there's me spraying, and it'll pop all the bubbles. And I appreciate you watching my video. If you would, give me a like and tell me what you think. Thank you.